Stephen, thank you for coming along to the Court Wine Bar. You're currently the Chief Executive Officer of the City of Subiaco.
That's right, John, yes.
And you have a real passion for local government.
I do. In fact, it's born out of the probably my family's involvement in local government. My grandfather was the Roads Board Secretary and my father was also a town clerk at Claremont. As a CEO, you deal with industrial relations, you deal with community relations, you deal with elected member relations, and each of those people or each of those groups expect you to behave in a professional way, even though you might be seething underneath.
In your time as a Chief Executive Officer, you've dealt with many local councillors at the town of Cottesloe, at the city of Subiaco and in regional centres. Some of those people must have been very, very difficult people to manage.
They certainly are. Sometimes you think that come from deprived backgrounds and that the council is actually an extended family for themselves, you know, that they've been to too many Catholic boarding schools or something and miss a social environment.
A lot of people are now starting to complain, both in Subiaco and everywhere else, about the enormous amount of traffic on Perth Road. How do you believe that should be addressed?
Well, there's absolutely no doubt that there has to be a shift to public transport, and whether it's by design or not, I think as the congestion pressures build, there will have to be an appropriate response by state government and Commonwealth government.
Do you think we should be bringing light rail or trams back?
Oh, absolutely.
Other issues that I'd like to ask you about, and firstly that's the old Subiaco market site, which I believe is no longer in use. What's going to happen there?
Well, interestingly enough, there's a development application coming up for that on this Tuesday night, or a scheme amendment which would allow more retail shops and being built into that area, but they would respect the Subiaco retail environment, which is small shops, and some of them would have a lower rent. So we're hoping that with any new development there, it will allow that sort of market environment. But we're also identifying other spots within the city for markets. So there are proposals before us for night markets in Forest Street, and of course we've got the farmers market going at the Subiaco Primary School. The council and the community have a real passion for them because they do add to that diversity, and in one way or another they will be retained in Subiaco.
And with Subiaco Oval, will that always be there, do you think, as a structure for West Australians?
It will be, regardless of what happens. It may well become a niche, if you like, a football oval with some downscarting, but it will always be an oval.
Do you get along to Subiaco Oval, Stephen, now and again?
Absolutely, I'm a Docker supporter, so...
You've had a bit of a troubled
yeah, always support the battler, yeah.
You're not going to give up on them?
No way.
What are your interests in terms of how you spend your time?
Well, of a weekend during the summer season, go sailing on a boat, part of a crew out of Royal Freshwater Bay Yacht Club. Interestingly enough, we've cleaned up for about the last 5 weekends in a row in our division. So. And
my other question about, you know, the city of Subiaco and the businesses it's prepared to tolerate in its area, what about brothels? Do you see a role for brothels in the city of Subiaco?
If brothels form an essential part of the community, then yes, there has to be planning for them. And then it gets down to what does make good planning sense. And historically the approach has been light industrial areas or places that don't attract too much residential interaction.
Thanks very much for coming to the Court.
Thank you, John.
And hope to see you soon.
Will do.